Does anyone have a question? Either I gave you the wrong time. The time is actually 1 o'clock, not 2 o'clock. I'm sorry. Okay. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
I'm having this like warmth, shakti flowing in my body, and a lot of heat coming, but my mind is still like going, just like my grocery store. It's very like mundane, stale thoughts, whilst my body is having this very deep, I mean, a lot of energy in my body. And I'm feeling like, shouldn't I be having also some, shouldn't, I don't know, like my mind is not included in the consciousness, is not included in the...
Yeah, let me look. It's the hardest thing to, it's really the hardest thing to train is the mind. I mean, from the earliest periods of our life, we live with very active minds. The schools we go to, the family we're in, they were all trained to live in the mind, to think, to analyze, to figure out. We are so conditioned to be there, and to spend so much of our time there. And at the same time, all of those thoughts, all of that stuff, that it consumes our energy. It sucks our energy. It's like a vacuum cleaner that eats up our energy. And you have to have patience with yourself, and really a lot of patience, because it takes time to be able to master and to quiet the mind. It's a constant repetition of bringing your attention below the navel, using the will to keep your attention below the navel, having patience with yourself, and understanding that this creature in the head that never shuts up, it's like a wild horse. We need to learn to train it. And that's what the meditation is all about. It's learning to train that wild beast that's in our head, that thing that consumes so much of our time and so much of our energy, and really creates, I would say, 80% of the anxiety that people have. It takes time to master this. Now, as Rudy always said, what's killing you can give you life. And if you just keep allowing the mind to run rampant, it will kill you. Eventually, it'll drain you. You see what happens when people get older. It's not their physical activity. It's not the businesses, the jobs. They begin to shrink up. It's the mind that creates that shrinkage in human beings. And we as people have to learn, doing this meditation, have to learn to master that energy. And then you got to have patience, because, I still have voices in my head. The only difference is today I don't listen to them, and I don't allow them to take control of me. They are instantly brought into the navel chakra. They're instantly brought down and transformed into chi. So have patience with yourself and just keep working to draw that energy down, to transform it into chi, and to keep doing it again. It's like, being almost like a Pavlovian dog. You got to train yourself to live this way, to do this kind of thing. And it takes time, and eventually the mind begins to listen. It will go down. It will, you become its master, not it controlling everything you do. So have patience with yourself. And I'm sure you're not the only one here who has this problem. Even after all these years of me doing it, I can still hear the mind yakking sometimes, As I say, the only difference is I no longer, to me, it's like the birds in the trees. You know, an airplane flies overhead, a truck drives by. It's the same thing. I don't listen. It's just background noise. And then I take it and bring it down, turn it into chi. And when you do that, the most amazing thing happens. You make room in yourself to receive the wisdom of God. You're no longer pushing it out of you because the brain, the mind is so active, creating so much tension. So you receive that energy that comes from a higher place. It opens the third eye. You know, it really gives us the ability to see what's real in life, what's an illusion in life, and to make conscious choices about how we live our life. All of that is in time. It's in the continuum of doing inner work, you know, practicing it every day and ultimately becoming a master of your inner life. And then so much of the nonsense stops. And you even have patience to listen to all the nonsense in the world and not allow it to, you know, drain you of your life. So have patience. That changes, but it takes time. And it takes an enormous amount of work on oneself just to get the mind quiet. I mean, you know, to me, you know, the energy of mind, I mean, if you need to have hell on earth, the energy of mind is hell on earth. It makes the whole world crazy. And the reason we have so many problems in the world is that almost nobody has mastery of that energy. So everybody's right, they know better, they're trying to fit everybody else into their reality, and it becomes an endless problem of conflict and difficulty, not only in ourselves, but with other human beings. I mean, you know, there's a thing I think in the Bible, the mind is the slayer of the soul. And it's really true. But as my teacher Rudy always says, it not only is the slayer of the soul, but it can give life to us if we learn how to master the mind and to use it as like a surgical instrument that opens the very core of our being, the foundation, the rootedness in us, the power to get the mind quiet and to be able to receive the wisdom of higher energy. And, you know, what is the wisdom of higher? I mean, it's really a very simple thing. It's the Om sound. It's the sound of all creative energy. And it comes into us and it goes into us. It becomes Hebrew and English and Norwegian. And you understand? I mean, it manifests that way in us. But in its actual pure state is the Om sound that's emanating from the universe. It's the sound of all creative energy. When it enters our system, it transforms itself into, I mean, it's like the story of the Tower of Babel in the Bible, you know. We become the Tower of Babel, that pure energy. And then it becomes all these different languages, Polish and Norwegian and Hebrew and English and Dutch and whatever, you know, French. You know, I mean, but we need to receive that in order to allow that wisdom to give us the capacity to differentiate between what's real, what's an illusion, what gets us closer to our enlightenment, how we can spend our time every day growing and expanding ourselves, our consciousness. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? You have a question?
You said, Stuart, that 85% of anxiety is created by mind.
You combine it with emotions and you have 100% sexual energy and you have the insane asylum inside a person.
Could it be perhaps that even maybe 100% of our feelings are created by our mind?
I would, look, I don't want to say 100%, but it's pretty up there, I mean, look, most illness in people is created in their heads. And that's really true, I mean, cancer, heart conditions, they're a product of so much tension and anxiety in people that the body begins to erode. So where does it start? It starts in the head and it goes into the emotions. And, it creates so many problems inside people, both physical, emotional, mental, on every level. It creates problems inside of people. So yeah, you can say, I don't like to say 100%, okay? But it's pretty up there, Sarah. It really is up there. The mind, it does this thing. And when you get the mind quiet, you can heal yourself. Or you at least attract what comes into your life that will heal you, because the mind is quiet. You're not creating all the blocks and tensions that interfere with life manifesting in an organic way. So, okay, we'll say 95%. I don't want to go 100%. Okay. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes.
I feel that I have everything I feel, pain or everything, is in my body now. Before.
Well, Flora, look, it's there. Okay, it's there. You brought it to me. Okay, now we're trying to open you deep enough so that you can work with it and get it down to the minimal of what it is. It's there. We have pain inside us. We repress it. We bury it. We do all this stuff. We numb ourselves, to life and that pain. And it's there, and it's coming up now. And now you can bring it into the chakra system and transform that pain into chi, into energy, to an open heart. It will heal you of so much of that stuff.
But I think it's not in my mind now. I don't know.
No, we have pain in our body, but one of the problems is the mind will feed the pain. And the pain grows. When the mind is focused in the chakra below that, it doesn't feed pain. You understand? So we're trying to train ourselves to get focused so that we don't feed the pain with our mind. When the mind gets involved, the pain grows. It's like feeds it. Pain needs energy too. And we feed ourselves. We have a pain somewhere and the whole focus of our attention goes there. And it just grows. If we detach ourselves, we stop feeding it, it'll shrivel up and go away. So we need to get very strong inside to do this. And I'm trying to give you all that exercise that makes this possible to do this, to teach this in this class, to get the strength that you can detach yourself from the mind, from pain, from all the stuff that so dictates the way people live and, in their lives. And they live, so many people like cripples because the pain is so difficult in them. Have patience. Again, I keep telling people, have patience. And the stronger you build that system inside, the more capable you become of not feeding these things and allowing them to just kind of shrivel up and disappear inside you. Does anyone else have a question? you would like to ask? I hope this is all clear, you know, because all of this is essential to learn if we're going to have a spiritual life. Because we have to master ourselves in order to allow God to come in a conscious, profound way. And mastering oneself is getting the mind quiet, the heart open, getting grounded inside, sexual energy being used to activate Kundalini. I mean, we master this so that we don't spend all our time in battle with all of these problems, you know, anxieties and pain and illness and fear, etc., you know. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask?
It seems like you live on so many dimensions at the same time, Stuart.
Excuse me?
I feel like you can meet me on my most sort of depressed or like darkest, and also at my highest. And I'm thinking the capacity needed to be able to function on so many levels or dimensions at the same time must be like, I don't know, tremendous, amazing, or like.
Well, it's amazing. You know, look, you know, I've been doing this 40-something years, 50 years maybe, you know, a long time. You develop those kinds of capacities. I mean it. To live on many levels. And then it's not living on the lowest level, it's transforming depression and unhappiness into chi, into an open heart. Getting that capacity is essential. That's one of the most important things to learn. Because if you don't learn that, you know, it's like quicksand in yourself, you know, it just sucks you down. And there's so many levels, there really are, and that's what makes life extraordinary. It shouldn't be something that scares you, it's something that's extraordinary, that there are all these different levels you can live on and take care of. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, God bless you all. Thank you. We'll have a meditation on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And bless you. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stuart.
Wish I could give everyone a hug. It would be great.
I feel the same, to give you a hug.